Okay, these are problems 14, 15, 16, and 17 on test 4 review. And it's asking you to write the product in simplest form, or determine the product and write it in simplest form. And remember, when we have these parentheses, we're looking at factors. So x plus 3 in parentheses is a factor with x minus 4, and that will equal a product. That's why they're using the word product. Because remember that, for example, 5 times 4 is 20. The factors are 5 and 4, and the product is 20. So we're really multiplying these factors. And we do it by a method called FOIL. And FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. So first, outside, inside, last, which means do the first ones, do the 2 outside ones, do the 2 inside one, then do the last one. That's what FOIL stands for. So we're going to do that. One, you do the x, first meaning it's the first term in each of the parentheses. So that gives us the x squared. And then we take that first term, but we now multiply it with the outside term of the second one. So that looks like both outside. That's why it's outside. So that's 4x. But it's x times the negative 4 there. Remember to try to always think of these as one unit when you have a minus in front of a number. So it will be minus 4x. Then you do the inside, so that's 3x, and it's a plus because you have a positive 3 and a positive x, so plus 3x, and then you do the last ones, which is 3 times negative 4, which is minus 12. And that's some of the tough part of FOIL, is remembering when you have a negative to keep track of that. Okay, now you combine your like terms, and usually when you have FOIL, the only like terms will be in the center. So you'll have negative 4 plus 3, which is negative 1, if you follow your integer rules. So you say negative 1x, and you bring down the minus 12, and you bring down the x squared. And you will have a simplified form, or the product of these two factors. Alright, for this one here, it's the same method, FOIL, which is do the first ones, then do the outside ones, then do the inside ones, and the last ones. So 4x times the x, 4x is positive, x is positive, so that is 4x squared. And then do the outside ones, so that's 4x times positive 3, so that will be plus 12x. And then we do negative 9 times the positive x, which is a minus 9x. And then we do negative 9 times the positive 3, which is minus 27. And again, the middle terms are the only ones that can be combined. Plus 12 minus 9, which is 3. So we will have 3x in the middle. And all of these equations make quadratic equations. And then the 4x squared. And it's a plus here, so it's plus. Well, it's a plus 3, because 12 minus 9 is a plus 3. That's why it's a plus here. Okay, so that's these two factors multiplied into this product. And this one here is a little different. We do have a x to the 2 right there. Can't really see it very well. But with this kind of FOIL method, it gets a little trickier, but it's still the same. We're going to multiply this x times this. And you could either multiply the x and then the 4, or you can do the x and then the 4. Let's first multiply the x times each of these terms. So this is an x squared. X times x squared is x cubed. And then x times negative x, that's the negative x there, so it's a negative 1x, will be a negative x squared. Then we're going to take this x and multiply it by this positive 4, which will be a plus 4x. Now we're going to take this 4, and let's choose a different color, and we're going to multiply it by each of these terms in this factor. So positive 4 times x squared is plus 4x squared. Then we have positive 4 times negative x, which is negative 4x. And then we have positive 4. Oops, let's show what I'm doing there. I just did the positive 4 times negative 1x. It's negative 4x. And then the positive 4 times the positive 4, which is a plus 16. Now out of this, we can combine the like terms. So we can combine this negative, remember there's a 1 in front, negative 1x squared and the 4x squared. We can combine the 4x and this 4x. X cubed we cannot combine. So let's put our final answer here in black. The x cubed won't change, so we'll leave that. X cubed. We're going to combine this with this. So negative 1 plus 4 is a plus 3. So we'll have a plus 3x squared. Then we will combine this plus 4x and the minus 4x, which is simply 0, so it goes away. And then plus 16 is left over. Okay, so that's what we get when we factor this. Now when we factor this one is actually a difference of cubes, but I don't expect you to completely recognize that. But let's take this whole problem and move it so we can work on it down here. We're going to do the same type of FOIL. We're going to take the x and multiply it by each term. So x, positive x times x squared is x cubed. Then we have positive x times plus 4x, which is plus 4x squared. Then we have x, positive x times the 16, which is plus 16x. And then we're going to take this negative 4 times each term. So negative 4 times x squared is negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times the positive 4x would be a minus 16x. And then we have negative 4 times a positive 16, which is a negative 64. Now we're going to combine like terms, so we can combine the 4x squared and the minus 4x squared, which makes it go away because a plus minus turns it to 0. We have a plus 16x, a minus 16x, so that also goes to 0. So what we have left over is x cubed minus 64, which is a difference of cubes. X cubed minus 64. So for each problem, we did the FOIL method, although it gets more complicated with this style of factors.